We have all heard the story. It is perhaps the most comforting myth in the history of modern nutrition. You sit down to a nice dinner, pour yourself a glass of deep red Cabernet, and tell yourself that you are actually doing your heart a favor. We call it the French paradox. For decades, we have been told that moderate drinking, 1 or 2 glasses a day, is a health tonic, an antioxidant super drink that keeps the cardiologist away. But what if I told you that was a lie? Or at best, a massive scientific mistake that we are only now beginning to correct? The narrative is crumbling. New guidelines are rolling out globally, and the scientific consensus has shifted violently. If you are over the age of 60, that nightly glass of wine is likely not protecting your heart. Instead, it might be shrinking your brain, disrupting your sleep, and silently raising your cancer risk in ways we are just starting to understand. Today, we are going to look at the uncomfortable new data that has 50% of adults rethinking their drink. Why are we talking about this right now? Because the tide of public opinion is turning. According to recent reporting from the Associated Press, attitudes toward alcohol in the United States are undergoing a significant transformation. For the first time in recent history, polls show that a majority of adults now believe that even distinctively moderate drinking is harmful to their health. This is a sharp departure from the carefree attitude of previous decades. But why the change? Did the wine change? No. Our understanding of the human body, specifically the aging human body, did. To understand why that glass of wine hits differently now, we first have to look at basic physiology. Drinking at 65 is metabolically entirely different than drinking at 25. When you were younger, your body had a much higher total water content. Alcohol is water-soluble, meaning it dilutes itself in the water held within your muscles and cells. However, as part of the natural aging process, we lose muscle mass and our total body water decreases significantly. This creates a concentration problem. If a 30-year-old and a 60-year-old drink the exact same amount of alcohol, the older adult will have a significantly higher blood alcohol concentration. You literally have less water to dilute the toxin. Furthermore, your liver produces less of an enzyme called dehydrogenase. This is the worker bee responsible for breaking down alcohol before it enters your bloodstream. With less of this enzyme available, the alcohol stays in your system longer, prolonging the exposure to toxicity and wreaking havoc on your system well into the next day. But what about the heart benefits? This is usually the biggest point of contention. We have clung to the idea that resveratrol, a compound found in red wine, protects our arteries. However, when researchers strip away the bad statistics, the picture changes. Recent large-scale reviews suggest that the supposed benefits were largely due to flawed data. In many older studies, the group of non-drinkers included people who had quit drinking because they were already sick or had underlying health issues. This made the moderate drinkers look healthier by comparison. When you control for lifestyle, wealth, and access to healthcare, the protective benefit of alcohol essentially evaporates. In fact, for the aging heart, alcohol is often a net negative. It can raise blood pressure and is a leading trigger for atrial fibrillation, a type of irregular heartbeat that increases the risk of stroke. The heart health halo is fading, and it is being replaced by a much darker warning label. This brings us to the most concerning update from the scientific community: the link between alcohol and cancer. The World Health Organization and other major health bodies identify alcohol as a Group 1 carcinogen. This places it in the exact same toxicity category as asbestos, radiation, and tobacco. When your body metabolizes alcohol, it converts it into acetaldehyde, a chemical that damages your deoxyribonucleic acid and prevents your cells from repairing the damage. For older adults, this risk is potent. For women, even 1 drink a day has been linked to an increased risk of breast cancer. For both men and women, moderate alcohol consumption is strongly tied to cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, and colon. The risk is dose-dependent, meaning the more you drink, the higher the risk. But the latest guidance suggests there is actually no completely safe amount. Beyond cancer and heart health, we have to talk about the brain. At 60, our primary goal is often preserving our cognitive reserve and staying sharp. A recent study from the University of Pennsylvania analyzed data from over 36,000 adults and found a sobering correlation. Alcohol consumption was associated with reduced brain volume. The researchers found that moving from 0 drinks to just 1 drink a day was associated with a reduction in brain size equivalent to 2 years of aging. In simple terms, drinking accelerates the atrophy of the brain. This sounds incredibly grim, I know, but there is a positive side to this new awareness. We're seeing a massive rise in the sober-curious movement among older adults. This shift, highlighted by the recent Associated Press coverage, shows that people are cutting back, not because they are being forced to by a doctor, but because they realize the trade-off simply isn't worth it anymore. Many people over 60 are realizing that the relaxing glass of wine is actually the reason they are waking up at 3 in the morning. Alcohol is a sedative, so it helps you fall asleep, but it destroys your rapid eye movement sleep, that deep, restorative sleep your brain needs to clean itself and consolidate memories. By removing that nightly drink, many people report a drastic improvement in their energy levels, their mental clarity, and their mood within just a few weeks. So where does this leave us? Do you have to pour every bottle down the sink today? That's a personal choice. However, the gray area drinking habit, that automatic glass of wine with dinner, is something that needs to be reevaluated. The science suggests that treating alcohol as a rare treat rather than a daily vitamin is the smartest move for longevity. The culture is changing. The shelves are now stocked with high-quality non-alcoholic beers and sophisticated mocktails that offer the ritual without the regret. Aging is a privilege, but it requires adaptation. The habits that served us decades ago may not serve us now. The science is clear. Alcohol is not a health food. It's a luxury that comes with a biological tax, and as we age, that tax bracket goes up significantly.